Welcome back to From Nine to Mom.
where we discuss balancing the 9 to 5 hustle with the beautiful chaos that we call motherhood.
And I gotta start off complaining. Can you believe this? We've been doing this. I alluded to it a few weeks ago. Me and Ryan are doing a 10-week challenge version of the 75 soft for anybody that's on TikTok. Ryan's already lost like almost 10 pounds in 2 weeks.
Of
Like
course he
what?
has.
What the
Men
hell's that?
always do. They always
I
do.
I hate it because we're in competition mode, even though he thinks it's not I mean, we both know it's a competition, but like it's not supposed to
It's
be.
not fair because their bodies have not had to undergo anything except age. And they literally, Jordan gave up hot dogs one year. Hot dogs. That's the only change he made. He
How many
lost
hot dogs was
25
he eating?
pounds. A package of Zweigels a week. He would cook up a package of Zweigels. When I am telling you this dude was eating a package of Zweigels a week, he was. But he lost 25 pounds making that one elimination. One. It is
That's
not fair. So Ryan, good for you, but also
right.
not
Like
fair.
I'm happy for him. He feel like you can tell he feels better. He's like, man, if you just like watch what you eat and like work out a little bit, you feel so much better. And like we've been walking. It's also the weather, so we've been going on a walk every night with the kids, and we were talking last night, and he's like, yeah, like you just can like get right back into it. He's like, I know all the exercises, I know all the things to do. And I was like, me too, but physically my body cannot do a sit-up yet. Like I don't have abs. Like they have been ripped open twice. Like
Yeah, for real though.
you can't. He's like, well, you got to just work it back. I'm like, no, they were ripped apart, Ryan. Like what am I supposed to do?
And they don't understand, nor will they ever be able to understand the hormonal changes that go on in your body
Yeah.
too. And so between the fact that your abs were ripped completely open, your stomach grew 77 bajillion times the size it's supposed to, you have saggy skin, now your hormones all messed up, then it's like, oh yeah, it's so easy. Just do a few exercises and cut out hot
10
dogs
weeks
and you'll
10
be
weeks we're
fine.
good. Yeah, it's been real fun, but it kind of leads into, today we wanted to talk about personas and how, we put ourselves into different boxes. And I think I really had some self-reflection this weekend on it because we've been doing this challenge, and that means we finally got a scale that's working again. And
Congrats.
so
Proud of you.
I thanks. And I haven't weighed myself since my 6-week appointment, and Cal's going to be a year in
Soon.
May. And yeah, so we've been doing this challenge, weighed myself. I was actually pleasantly surprised. Like I was like, okay, like this isn't as bad. I'm salvageable. Like I can get it back.
I like the
It,
term salvageable.
yeah, like
That's salvageable.
I feel like when I was pregnant, I was like, I'm just so far past
Too far
health at
gone.
this point. Like, you just can't turn back. So now I feel a little motivated. I was talking about how I got some clothes this weekend. I had a successful
Mm-hmm.
shopping trip. So I was just like feeling myself for Monday morning to get back to work and like do stuff. But like Sunday, I was home alone with the kids, and I was just sitting there and I'm like, I am like two different people. I'm work
Mm-hmm.
Katie and I'm mom Katie. And like Sunday, I just, I don't even think about work. Like I'm keeping these humans alive, and I'm just like getting through the day, like getting through lunch and trying to get to nap time, right? Like that's
Yeah.
the goal.
Totally
Like you
different
just go
goals.
to nap times. And then like Monday morning drop off, and then it's like I'm completely different. Like it's just totally two different buckets of like people right now. And it's just so weird to feel like that, where you're just like switching gears.
And I think that any mom that works is going to feel this at some point. And I don't know if you remember the two personas that you have. Had a really easy time jumping back into those two personas when Colton was born. I was 100% ready. I had my two
Yeah.
people. I was work Danielle, mom Danielle. I had a very easy time transitioning. After Daisy, whatever it was, I struggled with that. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that it was work from home. So,
Yeah.
and Daisy at daycare. So Colton I dropped
Right.
off at daycare, and then I physically went to work as well with
Right.
Colton for a long time, where this is Daisy's here. So anytime I hop up to go to the bathroom or do anything, it's like immediate switch from work persona to
Right.
mom mode. Like earlier today, I had a meeting. My mom called me to ask me for something upstairs. The baby's sick. I gave her the Tylenol, gagged on it, puked on me, and I had less than 3 minutes to get work persona Danielle back on and ready to go. And it's definitely been a little bit harder this time, but I also remember texting you on Sunday. So we both must have
Yeah.
been thinking it, but being
Right.
like, I'm really excited for work on Monday. I'm very like motivated
Yeah.
and I know what I want to do. We both have networking events this week. So you have one on
Yeah.
Thursday and I
Hmm.
have one on Friday. So that always helps.
Yeah.
And I just, at this point in time, you're constantly switching personas, but I do feel like it's two completely different people. And then for me,
Right.
sometimes a third completely different person comes out of the box where it's old Danielle, like fun. We talked about going out this weekend, like fun party
That's true.
Danielle
That's true.
lives in
That
there somewhere. And that's a totally
she's
different
there.
person.
Right. She's there. And that's such a good point. We need to like put names to these people. Like everyone should have like persona names.
I think that's a brilliant idea. My sister-in-law, we went to a bachelorette party once a few years ago and there was a wig and she put the wig on and became Anita. So now anytime we go
So
out and
she's
she gets a
Anita.
little sauce, she's Anita. And I love that for her. And I
That's
feel
great.
like it would be a good idea for us to have our own names for those people.
Well,
Yeah.
because Ryan always calls me I mean, me and Ryan love The Office, so if you don't watch it, you should. But he always calls me the business bitch when I'm like doing something for work. He's like Kelly Kapoor, the business bitch, and I'm like, okay, like, but I'm legit. Kelly Kapoor was not legit, but
No, but she was
yeah,
entertaining.
I
So
gotta put a name to that. Because yeah, like even when I go to the networking event, like mom mode is way off the table at that point. Like you get into like fake smile mode of like I got to talk to some people. But yeah, it was just an interesting like self-reflection on Sunday. I was like, wow, like how did we get here? But I like
yes.
it. I like it, but it's so like interesting to just see how many personas you can have and how quickly you have to shift between them. But I feel like you talking about like the second time around, you had an easier time. I feel like I had an easier time the second time around than with Jack.
Yes,
Like
you
this
did, I
time
think.
I was like, boom, back into it, and I don't know why. Like I think I felt so
I
confident. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe that's what it was because you knew what you were doing as a mom.
Right?
So I think that for you, you are, we've talked about this before, more of a, it's funny because everyone always said I was type A, type A. I'm an ENTJ on Myers Briggs, like I'm an ID on
Mhm.
DISC, like I should be type A, but I can go with the flow and like take
Yeah.
things as they come a little bit more. So with Colton, I kind of had that piece,
Yeah.
but then he was so freaking easy where you are more type A, and then Jack had all the challenges with formula and all
Yeah.
of that stuff, and you didn't want to leave him. It's a different experience. You were
Yeah.
confident, you knew what you were doing as a mom, and you knew what you were doing at work when you came
That's
back
true.
from
Yeah.
maternity. But sometimes I feel like it's universal intervention or divine intervention because I needed you to be that at that
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
for me, because it helped me a lot when I wasn't able to figure it out as
Yeah.
quickly. And then you get even more frustrated because Danielle's work persona, whatever that name's going to be, like I can turn it on, like smile, sparkle, shine. I was a cheerleader. Like I got this, you
Wait,
know,
that's a great quote.
smile, sparkle, shine. And I always have had it. And when it didn't
Yeah.
come as naturally, I remember going to a functional health specialist and being like, help me, something is wrong. I don't know what to do. Um,
It's
and
so true though. Like you just get yeah, you get depending on where you are and where it is, but I think that's such a good point though with Daisy. Like you had her home and I know a lot of moms work with their kids home. I mean, we did that poll a couple months back of like
yeah,
what's your setup and be like you got to have some real skill to be able to like be in work mode, then walk out of your office and directly be in mom mode, then you're in Danielle mode again because you got to feed yourself, take care of yourself, so then you can go back to work mode. But it's just like so many all in. You could be three different people in 5 minutes.
yes. And that's what I feel like. Sometimes the personas like have to like, and then they blend a little bit more than I'd like
Yeah,
because it's so quick. But for people who go to the office, obviously there's a different sense of loss in that
yeah,
time because you have to switch from mom to work or like business bitch. Like it's got to
hmm,
happen. And so there's pros and cons like we've talked about, but I also think that I'm at a space now, even despite all the shit that's happened in the last 24 hours. So for those of you like who don't know, a lot has happened in the last 24 hours with Daisy being sick, multiple doctor's visits. I go get your skin checked. I had something removed. They're checking it for skin cancer, because I went to the tanning bed for years just trying to get as close to being like Snooki as I possibly could. So this generation, if you
Yep.
tried to be part of the Jersey Shore at any point in your life, go get your skin checked. But all this stuff is happening. And then I still
Yes.
find it easier to hop in to work mode. Like I still
Yeah.
find it easier than I did
Right.
before. So like if you're feeling in one of those phases where you're like, I do have these personas, that these levels of me
Yeah.
exist, but I'm struggling to navigate between the two and transition seamlessly between the two, it will happen for you.
Right.
It's
Mhm.
just once you start feeling that way, it does feel so good. And it's a weird feeling of good. Like you said, you went from messy bun, sweatpants, focus entirely on the kids to my new business clothes, feeling good, ready to go on Monday. And it was within a 48 hour, 24-hour span that you were
Right.
able to do that. And you almost feel bad when you get excited. I don't. Maybe you don't, but I almost feel bad when I get
Mhm.
really amped up to go into work mode. Because I'm like, does that mean I'm a bad mom?
Don't
Am
wanna
I a
be with the
bad
kid.
mom because I want to work?
Right.
But I don't think that's the case. I think it makes you, if that's what you do and that's who you are, the fact that your kids are seeing you be true to yourself and not give up every single piece of who Katie or Danielle was before they had kids, it's a good lesson to teach your
Yeah.
kids. But if you decide you want to be a stay-at-home and that's the best option for you and you're being true to yourself, I think that's great for your kids too. So there's no wrong
Yeah.
answer, but there's always guilt either way.
Absolutely. And I feel like it kind of ties into being when you were on vacation. So like we used to go on vacation, like there's like a vacation mode, but like
Vacation Danielle, vacation Katie probably they're the
oh,
best versions of
they were
ourselves.
the best. That's who we aspire to be.
Yes, I
But
want
when
to be
you go
that
on, like
person.
now going on vacation, you have to find a medium of vacation Danielle and mom Danielle to be on vacation because you want to relax and do all that, but you have your kids at home.
One day we're going to figure the lights on as
I
Katie
know if you
waves her
guys are
arms.
watching on
But
YouTube.
still, with that, it's so true. And I'm going to talk about one of our listeners' shit you can't make up stories because I was there to witness it. And it honestly happened to me the year prior. So I totally understand how she's feeling. But my poor friend comes with her son. We have all these plans to hang out, have the babies together. And their son gets really sick and they end up at Golisano's urgent care going to take the baby to get checked out in the middle of vacation. So excited to have like fun and be in full family mode, vacation mode. And now you're sitting at an urgent care with your kid, double ear infection, antibiotics. You feel so bad. And she was just like, how does this even happen?
How
Like
can I relax
he was
now?
fine. We had plans to hang out that like on the day that they ended up going to the next day they went to urgent care. But we had plans. They were hours late because he fell asleep and wouldn't really be himself. And then the next day we had plans and they're like, sorry guys, we're not going to make it. We got to go to urgent care. Luckily it didn't screw up date night because that was epic, but we got to be
Awesome.
vacation. We got to be vacation us that night, but it did like your vacation mode. These poor people ready to go in the middle of a vacation, sick kid, done.
But that's typical. And then you're like, yeah, like you can't be vacation yourself because you have to be mom the whole time, right? Like it's a merge of personas. We're talking like we have split personalities or something, and maybe our husbands think we do, but
I think they do think we do. I know Jordan does think I do. He's like,
it's like,
wait, what's
yeah,
going
you need
on?
to. It's tough though, and like it's interesting to see. Like I have a lot of friends that are entering into momhood, I'd say, and like watch them go through this transition. And it's not something you can really give advice on because everyone's going to handle it how they're going to handle it and what feels right to them. And I have people on full different ends of the spectrum that people don't want to go back, people that can't wait to get back, and some that are just so uneasy. And it's so difficult to make that, like that first time you do it is always going to be difficult transition because now you're factoring in daycare, all those things that you never had to do before.
Yeah, definitely a different time of life. And then I think I have a friend right now who's going through the second baby. It reminds me a lot of me. She's kind of an influencer and she's posting about her experience and how hard it is this time around with the second baby. And I feel for her so much because I remember that
Mhm.
feeling. And I'm like, you're going to get back. I promise. It's going to come back to you. I promise. So then you think you've got it down. You don't have it down, but it'll all come full circle. But I think once you can identify like who those people are, they're constantly evolving. The
Mhm.
personas are changing, but at the same time, to be able to feel confident in your skin in this persona as, you know, work
Mhm.
me and mom me and fun me, it's a very enlightening, almost like, I'm going to say, like, if you have, and I apologize if kids are listening, but I read a book called, I can't, the subtle art of not giving a fuck was what it was called. And it's about like you have this bank of fucks that you can give, and your bank is only so full, and you have to start deciding when more things start adding onto your life, or more personalities, and hence the split personality situation start coming into your life, you're splitting those up
Right.
a little bit more.
Mhm.
And I think that when you figure out who you are, like that feeling you had over the weekend, you don't care that you had the messy bun and the sweatpants and you were just with the kids this weekend. And you also, not that you don't care, but like you enjoyed it. Like, who cares
Right.
what other people think? You're not thinking about, oh my God. Like 6 months ago, you might have been like, oh my God, I didn't do work. I said I was going to do work this weekend and I didn't do it. You were all in, you accepted it, you owned it because you didn't have any more F's to give. In that scenario, you saved them
Right.
for Monday. Right. So I think that
Absolutely.
it's an empowering experience to be able to start not caring. Not that you're not caring, you're expressing self appreciation and self identity awareness. I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah, it is. We're very capable of a lot of things as moms for sure.
And also of something, sometimes nothing at the same time.
Right.
Like my husband just called me and he was checking in, I think. I'm not sure because the baby's been sick. And he's like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm just giving Daisy Tylenol before this call. She throws up while I'm talking to him. And this is not man bashing. This is just the difference. And he's like, oh, poor thing. Okay, by the way, so-and-so called and we started talking. I'm like,
I'm not
Jordan,
touched.
I just got thrown up on and I have a call in 3 minutes. Like I don't have time. Like, it's not that I don't want to hear about it. Like I don't have time to do this. He's probably like, 5 minutes ago, you were happy. Like what happened? It's like, I had to switch personas
A lot. A
real
lot
freaking
could
fast.
happen.
Yeah. I'm exhausting myself. Like
It
people
is.
always say
It is
like,
mentally draining.
if I can only imagine how you're feeling because I'm exhausted of my own personality switches at this point. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I guess we do we're doing the best we can with all
with
these split
with the personalities that we've got.
Like I don't know if you ever saw the movie Split, where he's like all in on these personalities. It's a scary movie, but it's also pretty awesome. And he switches and he even changes. It's literally what we're talking about. He changes his clothes based on what personality he is,
Amazing.
the way he speaks, and that's what we're doing every
Yeah.
day, if not every other 15
Few
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah. But none of us are alone. And I think it's exciting. And I think it's fair to say that I'm excited, like that you're excited that you feel that way and that you're excited that you're
Yeah.
stepping into that era for yourself, because it is a very liberating and exciting time. Maybe I don't feel it as much today, but I definitely am
But you
grateful that I
will.
felt it before.
You felt it before and you will feel it again.
Feel it again. It's going to be there.
All
But with that
right. Well,
being
with
said, I guess it's time to clock out, right? And clock back into the next persona.
next persona, here we go. See you guys next time.
Bye.